Welcome to the Daily Hustle, and in this episode, I'm starting a brand new series within the series called Why You Must Work From Home. Now, in this mini series within the series, I'm going to be sharing with you not only some incredibly powerful reasons why you must work from home, but also I'm going to be sharing with you the tools and resources to be able to work from home. And that's almost more important, right? But what I want to do here is I want to share with you the powerful mega trend that is happening right now in the world, and that is a massive shift to technology-based, home-based jobs and work, and even your own business, and away from the traditional 9 to 5, 40-hour work week, go to an office, sit in a cubicle type of work. And so I want to highlight that, and I want to share with you some of the things that I've been doing as a 30-year work-from-home business owner. And also just want to kind of encourage you to keep moving in the direction of working from home, because the bottom line is that's where everything is going right now. And it's really a major shift in the work landscape that is happening. And I want you to be a part of that because you don't want to be left behind from this major shift. So I've titled this episode Reason Number 100. You know what? I actually have 100 reasons that you should work from home. This is number 100, and we're going to count down. Now, they're not in any particular order. I just happen to have 100 reasons. And so within these daily hustle shows that you're going to see, I'm going to be sprinkling these reasons throughout. So you might see 1 or 2 or 3 of these in a week. Just depends on what happens that week. And I'm going to be counting down 100 reasons to work from home. Okay, so if you didn't have 2 or 3 good reasons, I'm going to give you 100 reasons. So today's episode is titled 100th reason to work from home is have fun while everyone else is at work. And I want to share with you a really cool story that happened this week. My son Josh is a huge music fan. He's a teenager, of course. And he reminds me of me when I was that age. I was huge into music. And he's been wanting to go to Amoeba Records, which is a massive record store in Hollywood, California. And Hollywood is probably about 25 miles away from where we live. We live on the border of LA and Orange County. So we're not very far from there. But, as everyone knows, Los Angeles traffic can be pretty crazy if you don't get in and out of the city within a certain period of time. So here's my son Josh and I. Josh is the younger one and a handsome young guy, and I'm very proud of him. And so what we did and we decided to do is just go to Amoeba Records and check it out. Now, the extra kind of story to this is that Josh is homeschooled and I work from home. So the real power and the real benefit of being able to work from home, and if you have kids, have your kids be homeschooled, means that you have now incredible flexibility to do things when everybody else is at work or at school. We've taken several trips in the last year where we were not dependent on a boss. We were not dependent on a school system. We were not dependent on tardy notices or absentee notices or having to ask my boss to take time off. Some of those trips were for pleasure, for fun, and some of them were for necessity. But the bottom line is, in none of those cases did I have to ask a boss, hey, can I do this? Hey, can I take time off for this? Hey, can I? No, we just got up and went. Okay, so that's powerful, and that's a huge reason that you want to work from home. But on top of that, one of the reasons we start our own business anyway is to have freedom, right? And flexibility in our life. And that's what this does. So added to that, the fact that my son is homeschooled and we are able to do all kinds of things. So I wanted to highlight this trip because it just kind of represents the freedom and the flexibility and the fun you can have when you work from home. Now, I have a long history with Hollywood. I used to go to concerts at the local clubs in Hollywood, back in the 80s when I was into music, and I was into hard rock music, and I saw a lot of up-and-coming bands at places like the Whiskey A Go-Go, the Rainbow, the Troubadour, Gazzarri's on the Strip, all these famous Hollywood clubs. We used to go to those, and we used to see concerts there. So what was extra cool here with this trip is that not only did we get to go to one of the world's largest record stores, but I also got to kind of share with my son some of the stories of my trips to Hollywood when I used to go see these bands in the 80s and all that kind of thing. So we not only did that, but we also, I'll tell you a little later, we took a little tour, a little side tour, and got to show them a few other LA landmarks. So this is the front of Amoeba Records. We are almost standing in the street in order to get this shot. And this is what Amoeba Records actually looks like. Look at this massive, massive store. I mean, it has rows and rows and rows over here of vinyl records, and then DVDs, CDs, cassettes, any type of memorabilia, t-shirts, stickers, posters, you name it. I mean, but look how small the people look. I had to take a panoramic view of this to kind of give you a sense of the scale of how big this place is. If you go over here, there's a whole nother area behind this wall that goes even further out. And then I took this picture from upstairs, which has tons of DVDs, VHS, Blu-ray, all kinds of movies and things like that. So when I walked in here, it was like music lovers nirvana. I mean, it was so amazing. And I just kind of was blown away by the enormity of this place. And we spent a good 2 or 3 hours just scouring the shelves and looking at all the vinyl and all the music that they had and all the paraphernalia. And it was really amazing to visit this store. So this is the big view of it. Here's my son checking out some records. And he's big on vinyl, you know, ever since he inherited a turntable and a whole stereo system from a friend. And so he loves the vinyl because it's much warmer and, you know, better sound and all that. Here's me in the DVD area. I love documentaries. I just like things that are interesting. I'm curious about life. So here was a DVD called American Mullet. And it's a documentary all about the mullet. I love that. So I'm going to be looking for that. And watching it because it's curious. It's interesting. You know, it's something I want to check out. And then here's a really good movie. We actually saw this movie on Amazon Prime. It's called Being Canadian, and it has all kinds of great stars, Canadian stars and non-Canadian stars, talking about the idea of being Canadian. It's hilarious. It's really funny, and it's a movie I recommend. But anyway, I saw it there, and these are two that I was contemplating buying, and I thought, you know what? Maybe it's on Amazon or Netflix. So I found them on the internet. So that's another funny one that I picked up. And then what we decided to do was I gave my son a tour of Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard. I showed him around all the streets, told him all the shenanigans we got into when we were into rock music back in the day. We just had some great times, had some laughs. I told him the story of being stuck in Hollywood at 4 a.m. after a concert when my friend's mini truck, his tire went flat. And we're stuck in the middle of Hollywood at 4 a.m. Well, it was actually 3 a.m. That we were stuck, but 4 a.m. when we actually finally got rescued by my friend's dad, and all the things that happened in between, which was hilarious. I mean, we could do probably a whole comedy series just on that night and what happened. So anyway, we drove all the way through Hollywood. I showed him around some of the things and told him some of the stories from back in the day, and then we drove up over to Beverly Hills. We went through West Hollywood into Beverly Hills. I showed him some of the houses. I talked about how important it is to dream and how important it is to see, you know, the people that are living well off. I also kind of gave him a little lesson about how important it is to understand that wealth does not happen by luck. There's only a very small percentage of people who get wealthy based on luck. In other words, they inherit their wealth. But the large majority of people that become wealthy own their own business. The biggest share of wealthy people are business owners. A very, very small minority of people make their money as a celebrity. So I kind of gave them a little lesson, shall you say, in who becomes wealthy in America. And of course, there are all kinds of other ways to be wealthy, but the majority of people that become wealthy own their own business in some way. Even if it's a high-powered attorney, chances are the high-powered attorney owns the law firm, right? And has other attorneys working for them. If it's a chiropractor, you know, who's wealthy, they probably own a chain of chiropractic offices as opposed to just being a practitioner. So I explained to him the difference between that, because I said, look, you could be a high-powered attorney and make $500,000 a year or even $1 million a year and probably not be able to live in Beverly Hills or Bel Air or one of those areas. But I shared with him, but if you're the owner of a law firm and you have many attorneys working for you, then you have the chance to be living in one of these areas. So it was a great lesson in the importance of having your own business as opposed to being a practitioner, and having your own business as opposed to thinking that the only way you could be wealthy is by being a sports celebrity, a movie star, a TV star, reality star, etc. Really, the true wealth in America goes to the business owner. Anyway, we drove down Rodeo Drive and we saw this 2-point-something million Bugatti. I think it's called the Chiron. The original one was called the Veyron. And everybody was taking pictures of this car around it and near it and that kind of thing. And we saw all kinds of cool stuff driving just through Beverly Hills. And then we drove by a very famous automotive museum called the Petersen Automotive Museum. And this is the very cool architecture of the Petersen Museum. It recently had a major facelift to the museum, and my son loves architecture, so he loved taking pictures of this. We're going to be coming back on another day when people are working and go attend the Petersen Automotive Museum. It's a great museum. If you're ever in the LA area, you're going to want to visit it. And so we drove through there and we drove back and we enjoyed an amazing day. We got out of town before the major traffic hit. So while everybody was at work, we were having fun, and that's all because of having a home-based business and my son being homeschooled. If you want to work from home, there's no better way to get started, in my opinion, than the Online Business Academy membership site, which contains 37 of the best courses that teach you how to start your own home-based business. There are 5 separate tracks with 5 of the best ways to earn money from home, and each one of those tracks you follow different courses in order so that you can start on your way to home-based business success. You can find the link to the Online Business Academy membership site in the video description below this video on YouTube, or just visit daveespino.com/OBA, that stands for Online Business Academy membership. I'll see you there.